Hello, my loves. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. Hi, hello-y. My name is Loey, and if you are at all familiar with me, you might know that I didn't exactly start out as a spooky TikTok lady. I've been on YouTube for literally like a third of my life. I have been making videos online for 11 years, and during that time, my content has gone through many shifts. The most drastic of which has to be when I went from body positivity content to making horror content. But I was having a dinner with a bunch of people that I actually work with, several people on the LoeyLane team, and we were just talking about the evolution of my own content or whatever. And we were talking about body positivity. And I was saying how I think that I saw the writing on the wall many years ago that the tone around like self-confidence, around body positivity was really starting to change. And everyone around me thought I was absolutely crazy. I guess I've never really talked about this, but when I fully pivoted away from fashion content and body positivity content, I was not like making that content casually anymore. I was working at New York Fashion Weeks and modeling in nationwide plus size clothing campaigns and doing God knows how many ambassador deals where I literally talked about body confidence and what it means to have body diversity in media and fashion and everything really. So when I stepped away from what was very clearly like a flourishing career that I had built for myself, everyone around me thought that I was losing my marbles. And even though I knew things were changing like 6 years ago, I never could have imagined where we would end up today, with brands pulling plus size sections that we fought so hard for out of stores, with top modeling agencies closing their plus size division because there's just not a need for it anymore. As if representation of a body type is just a passing fad that has gone away. But TikTok in particular is what I want to chat with you all about today. And I love TikTok, don't get me wrong. I literally spend all of my time on that app. You guys know that I'm always making scary compilation videos of creepy TikToks and stuff. I'm also a TikToker. I post on there like every single day. But because I'm so active in that space, I've really been able to see how bad things have gotten over there in terms of conversations around inclusivity, around plus size bodies, around self-talk, like the way that we talk about ourselves, the way that we talk about others. A couple of months ago, I made a response video to a TikToker named Leo Skepi who made a video basically saying that fat people shouldn't complain about brands not making our size.
Brand not making your size in something does not give you grounds to talk shit, degrade the brand. Brands are allowed to want a certain look and image with their products. They are allowed to make things for the people they want to make them for. I've been seeing too many people talking shit recently, and it's me off. People are allowed to have preferences, and brands are allowed to create an image with what they want and have a specific type of person wear what they have. Not everybody needs to be catered to by everything and everyone.
And this was a big to-do. He got a fair bit of backlash, but I'll be really honest with you guys. I mostly saw support in the TikTok comment section saying that he didn't say anything wrong, that brands are allowed to just decide that they don't want fat people wearing their clothes. And the funniest part about that video to me is that if you are a plus size person, you already know brands don't want us wearing their clothes. Our options for style are very limited. There is one question I'm asked more than anything else, I'm telling you, I get it every single day, and it is, where do you shop? Because I have no idea where to look for clothes. So this wasn't groundbreaking information, but I talked about that a while ago. If you want to watch the full video, you can. But that is not the only body shaming I've seen on TikTok. I mean, in comparison to some of the other things we're going to be looking at today, the video that Leo made was pretty tame. I don't remember this man's name because he's so deeply irrelevant to me, but there was this guy who made a video, like some fitness dude, who said that there was nothing worse than being seated next to some fat on a plane. Basically just sitting there and complaining as he got ready for his flight about a non-existent fat person that he was making up in his head that he would have to sit next to on the plane. I see this video, nobody's even tagged me in it. I see it on my For You page. It just comes up in my algorithm. Hundreds of thousands of views, tons of likes, tons of positive comments. And I found this so funny because who the hell is this man? Who Actually, who are you? Nobody gives a about you. Least of all the fictional fat person you've made up in your mind. I promise you, they are not thinking about you the way that you are thinking about us. So I make a response video. I make a fun little skit where I basically play the part of the fat person sitting next to him on a flight.
The absolute worst thing that can happen on an airplane is getting seated between some fat.
Hello, my name is LoeyLane, and I will be auditioning for the part of the fat person who had to sit next to that roach on a flight. Wow, this plane is really uncomfortable, and I would like to be anywhere else. I just hope I don't have to sit next to a frat bro who smells like rancid Axe body spray and has the style and charisma of a 7-year-old boy. I just really hope I get to sit next to absolutely anyone else but the guy who has SoundCloud rapper music coming out of his headphones for the full 3-hour flight. The absolute worst thing on an airplane is being sat between two men who have the personality of a piece of wet cardboard. Oh, you're the middle seat. Oh, come on in, bud. Okay, that's my audition. Thank you so much.
To this day, genuinely some of my funniest work. But guess what? Very shortly into it beginning to go viral, TikTok took it down for bullying. Oh, but you want to know something crazy? The original video where that man talked about how he didn't want to sit next to fat people on a plane, it's still very much so online. I'm bullying by saying that this man looks like he smells like rancid Axe body spray, but he can talk so negatively about fat bodies and his video stays online. All right, I wish he was the worst thing that we're talking about today, but honestly, there is a creator I've wanted to talk about for a while who goes by the name of KingKrabbyPatty on TikTok. I've seen tons of my mutuals in like the body positivity space talk about this person, make like eat with me videos because someone like her exists. And I promise you, whatever you think you're about to hear come out of this woman's mouth, this clearly straight-sized woman's mouth, is nowhere near as bad as what it actually is.
Oink oink, chubby cheeks. Yeah, you heard. But you know what? Every time I walk, the oinks get quieter. It's like it started off like oink oink oink. Now it's just like oink oink oink. It's like my fatness is leaving in the past. And every time I take a step, it's one small step for mankind, one giant leap towards skinniness. No one's gonna ask me, oh, why are you fat this summer? All they're gonna know is that I am. But unfortunately for them, I'm gonna be skinny this summer and they're gonna see it. I said, I don't think I wanna run today. And I said, well, I think you look like a pig. Oink oink. Do you wanna go another summer with your fat stomach and your chubby little thighs that make you look like one of those little fat babies? No. Be nice to yourself. I tried, and now I'm 10 pounds heavier than I was like 6 months ago.
We've been through this. We have talked about this online ad nauseum. This type of negative self-speech, this degree of self-loathing, you might lose the weight, but you will never, and I mean never, be able to form a happy, healthy relationship with your body, with exercise, or with food talking to yourself like this. Dietitians have said this, trainers have said this, professional weight loss coaches have said this, that talking to yourself in this way, describing your body in the ways that KingKrabbyPatty does is so dangerous. And listen, I think that within a couple of minutes of going through this person's videos, you can tell pretty quickly that this is someone who is so uncomfortable in their own skin that they don't have anything nice to say about it. And that is something I wouldn't wish upon anyone. It's something that I feel like most women especially have gone through at some point in their lives. Looking in the mirror and feeling hatred for what you see. Feeling like the only option is to change that thing so that life can get better, so that you can finally love yourself. But I also want to be totally transparent. You have to take some responsibility for what you are spewing into the minds of literal children scrolling through this app, going to these videos and saying, yes, girl, you are my inspiration, you get it.
There's nothing wrong with being fat. You should love yourself the way you are. Okay, I'm hearing you, but now you gotta hear me. There are people who would genuinely get joy from seeing me be fat. Over my dead body will somebody's joy come from me being fat. Never in my life do I want people sending around my pictures going, she finally gained weight. That's really mean. Okay, well, it's realistic. I'm not living in La La Land out here.
Speaking about your body, about fatness as the downfall that your enemies would be wishing upon you is crazy. As if it is something people would get a kick out of. Like, girl, get it the f together.
Born to be skinny, forced to be fat because I'm so unathletic. That was a mile. Can't breathe, feel like shit. Worth it to be skinny, okay? Worth it to be skinny. Miserable now, or miserable all summer when I look like a beached whale. I'm gonna choose miserable now. All I know is I'm gonna look like $1 million this summer because I'm not on my fatty McFatster right now. Can't wait to be skinny as a needle.
And it's really sad because this person is not going around saying fat bodies are bad bodies. She's not out here doing what the last guy I showed you was doing, where he's blatantly talking about other people's body types. But even talking to yourself this way is incredibly dangerous. And what's further than that is broadcasting it to the millions of people that you know will see these videos with zero regard to what you are doing to their self-confidence and to their perception of self. But is anyone saying that? Absolutely not. They're saying, girl, you're my inspiration. You are the reason that I'm going to motivate myself to lose weight. There's nothing wrong with losing weight. However, there's also nothing wrong with looking at your body in the mirror and saying, yeah, I don't really need to change this. It's also incredibly beneficial to practice self-love, to practice loving your body on a weight loss journey if that's what you're doing, because you're not going to magically lose all the weight and be this confident version of yourself whose problems are all suddenly solved. The next TikTok that I'm going to show you is from a plus size influencer named Carson Shea, and this video has over 16 million views, 3.2 million likes, and a ton of people in the comments saying that they agree with her.
All I want in my life is to be able to dress the way that I've always wanted, but I can't. And the reason I can't is because I'm fat. And I know people are like, fat girls can wear whatever. I'm the type of fat where it looks disgusting. Okay? Under these clothes, I can hide it. It looks fine. Oh yeah, you might be chunky, but your body's, it's a nice shape. You got no, I don't have a nice shape. I can hide it very well. And it's disgusting the way that I look. And I hate it. And other who look like me, I'm like, oh, you look so great. Why do I look so nasty? I am disgusting. And I hate my body. Okay? And all I want, I'm clothes shopping and I'm like, oh, that's so cute. And in my head, I'm like, should I buy it? I might be able to wear it someday. You stupid You stupid
And this, of course, is much different from the KingKrabbyPatty nonsense. What is concerning here is the amount of people who relate. The amount of people in the comments who say, I hate this part of my body. I saw some comments of people saying that they have an apron belly and that they absolutely hate it, that they find it disgusting. Silent repost. I just want to wear a crop top. Another person saying, take action, babe. 16.2 million views. I actually made a little response to this that I'll play for you because maybe you guys need the pep talk too.
I'm the type of fat where it looks disgusting.
Hi, gorgeous, gorgeous girl. First off, you're so pretty. Second, I just wanted to chat with you for a minute. I hope that's okay. As someone who has lived in a fat body for the majority of my life, as a plus size person who usually does just dress exactly the way I want to, whether it's cool or not, whether it's unflattering for my body type according to whatever standards have been set upon me by society, I will tell you that as someone who typically wears what I want on a day-to-day basis, I am still thinking about my body the entire time. Thinking of how it's perceived, thinking of how I as a human being am perceived, but mostly in the sense of my physical body. And maybe that comes across as sad, but if you wait your whole life to dress the way that you want to dress, you're going to watch your entire life go by. One day, my beautiful girl, we will both be little old ladies in little old rocking chairs, and good for us. We'll be cute while we do it. But I don't think that we will look back at this time in our lives and think to ourselves, I'm really glad that I spent that year of my youth in this beautiful body that I am so thankful for all these years later, the one that got me through all of these years of life. I'm really glad I hid that body in baggy t-shirts and shorts for a year because I just didn't like the way that it was shaped, the way that it looked, the way it was presented.
I consider myself to be a pretty confident person, and I still think about what people think about me every single day. But at the end of the day, the only opinion that really matters is mine, and the only opinion that really matters for you is you. So when you say things about your body that like you can see someone else shaped like you and think they're beautiful, you know, they look great, but you look at you and think you look disgusting, that opinion is going to stick with you more than even probably the opinions of a stranger like me telling you how beautiful you are. Everyone in the world could be telling you how beautiful that you are, and I'm very happy to see that a lot of those comments were doing the job. But what matters at the end of the day is your own view of yourself. Our minds are like little sponges, and we pick up on the nuances and opinions and perceptions of other people about us, about people that look like us, about, I mean, just the whole world around us. And so often I think that those thoughts that we have judging ourselves aren't always even necessarily us, but like someone else's something that we've picked up along the way. You are the only person who has to live with you for the rest of your life. And I think that just by seeing you, you're a person who deserves to be loved. And the most important thing that you can do is love yourself enough to give yourself grace, to give yourself compassion, and to know that you are just as worthy of living a life that you want as anyone else is. And I know it's hard, I'm sorry. But when you can form that relationship with yourself, that bond where you prioritize your own opinions over your physical body, over just who you are as a person also. I mean, so much of this is just self-acceptance. But when you can get to a place where you see yourself as beautiful as you truly are, I promise the world will just open up around you. On the off chance that Carson is watching this, I mean everything that I said in that video. You are so beautiful. And I'm so sorry that we exist in a world where that kind of negative self-speak is completely becoming the norm, that it's becoming celebrated. But this is the effect that people like KingKrabbyPatty have to real human beings. 16.2 million views, thousands of comments of people agreeing with what she said, of saying that they felt the same way. And what's really crazy is that when I stopped making body positivity content, it was for two reasons. One, because I saw the writing on the wall all those years ago. I watched as inclusivity grew and grew and grew and grew and grew. And I think that because I was in that space, because I could see how people were reacting to it all the time, I watched it go from being celebrated to being discouraged, to being villainized, until a point where suddenly body positivity is a bad thing. But the second reason that I stopped making it is because I kind of felt like I had said everything I needed to say. How many more times in my early 20s could I have talked about being the fat girl in the room? I loved giving you guys these pep talks of telling you why it's okay to love yourself. But I only had my perspective to go off of at that time. And certainly at that point in my life, my view of body positivity, of the way that I felt about my body, about the way that the world feels about my body, it was limited comparatively to where I'm at now. Look, this is not to say that I let what anybody says about my body affect me in any negative way, because I mean, look at me. I see this every single day in the mirror. You think I'm gonna let you roll through and tell me that I look disgusting? I definitely don't let that kind of stuff get under my skin. If I did, I don't think I would have survived online as long as I have. But I will tell you, I have never, ever in all of my years being online seen comments like I do now on my body. I have so many mutuals as well who are in plus size bodies, who are actively on weight loss journeys. And when they post their content about it, they have people in the comments telling them that they're liars. That if they were going to the gym like this, then they should have lost a ton of weight. That they look disgusting in their workout clothes. You are repulsive to them until the very moment that you are in a thin body. And even then, even when you've lost all the weight, they still have things to say about your body. They still nitpick every single piece of you. So you get the surgery, you get the loose skin taken off maybe. You tighten up all of the areas that people point out as flaws. Why didn't you just do it the natural way? Why did you have to take weight loss medication and then get surgery in order to look good? Just go to the gym and eat healthy. But when you do it that way, it's still not fast enough for these people, and they don't want to see you exist in the current body that you're in. I have never seen anything like this, and it's so disheartening. But if y'all really need someone to spank some sense into you, I guess that I'll come do it. There is nothing wrong with the way that your body looks in this moment. Those things that you look at yourself in the mirror and find as flaws are so beautiful. They're unique to you, but they're also normal. I can't tell you the number of people that I've worked with over the course of my career who ask how I do it, how I stay confident in my body, how I love the way that I look. And these people are not always fellow plus size baddies. Very often they're in a straight size body that I think most of society would look at and say, wow, this is the perfect body. This is body goals. Those people still look in the mirror and find everything that's wrong with them. So know first and foremost that it's normal, that it's what we do in our little human brains, but also you have to know that there is more to life than that. And I don't know how to tell you this, but you are the only person who has to live with yourself for the rest of your life. You have to wake up every single day and see that person in the mirror who you are actively saying to, I don't like you. I don't like the way that you look because you have this and this and this wrong with you. And if your stomach was more toned and if your ass was fatter and if you had straighter teeth, then maybe I'd like you better. Baby, you are never going to get to a place where you actually love yourself. It will never be enough. So please just be nice to yourself. You are trying so hard day in and day out. And your body, the vessel that you're in, is the least of your concerns because it is perfect the way that it is right now. Not in 20 pounds or when you gain the weight or lose the weight or whatever. Your body is perfect and beautiful and worthy of being loved right now in this moment. And I am so sick of people coming onto the internet and trying to tell you that that is not the case. You have done enough. You are worthy of self-love right now. It is okay to accept yourself. You have to, because if you don't, you will wake up one day and your entire life will have passed you by. And that body that you will have spent your entire life hating is the very one that carried you from where you are now until you are much older. Do you still want to think like this when you are a little old person in a rocking chair watching your grandkids run around the yard? Do you want to be sat there thinking about how inadequate your body is? Do you want to know that that has been the way that you have talked to yourself your entire life? If that is not the future you want, you have to decide right now that your body is not your enemy. And I get it, those nasty little voices in our head can be so loud, but you have to make peace with them. And it will be so deeply ingrained into your brain that when you try to start practicing self-love, when you try to look at yourself in a positive light, those little voices will creep back in and they'll try to tell you that you're wrong, but it's because it's embedded so deeply in our brains by society, by these beliefs that we hold for ourselves. Those thoughts are not you. Let those little voices throw their tantrum, but you have got to get back up. And while I'd love to just pop through the screen and shake your little head until I can knock those voices and that negative self-speak out of your brain, I can't do that. And the only person that can decide to love you, the only person that can decide that you are worthy of your own love is you. All right, I've had 2 camera batteries die while filming this. I don't even know if my mic is still working, so the sound might have changed halfway through. But I really hope you enjoyed this video. Look, if I can get really honest with you for a second, making this kind of content still scares me a lot. And it's because it's really hard to make. It's always been hard to make. And I think that what you don't know is that very often in those videos that a lot of you grew up on, I was just talking. I was just yapping until I hopefully started making some sense to someone. They said, babe, you gotta fake it till you make it. And I did. I actually did. I very often sat in front of a camera and had read these things that people would say about my body online. And I would still show up and tell you why you should love your body. And opening yourself up to the kind of criticism and nitpicking that comes with talking about this sort of subject, it is spooky. It is scarier than any of these videos that I make on a regular basis about scary TikToks and stuff. I think that these conversations are still really important to have. And I think that they're more important to have now than ever. Fine. Society wants to be ugly and nasty about bodies, about the way that people look. They want to vilify body positivity. Then let me be the karma that they deserve. Consider my retirement over. I hope that this was helpful in some way. I hope that you got something positive out of it. I really love you all. I know that this might have been a kind of triggering video for some of you, so make sure to take some extra care of yourself. Remember that you are so, so beautiful in the skin that you are in right now and always. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Okay, if you did, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Special thank you to my channel members for their support. If you want to join the channel memberships, you can click that little join button somewhere around the screen. We would love to have you. An extra special thank you to my VIP loves for their continued and generous support of the channel. I love and appreciate you all very, very much. I love you all so, so much. And I'll see you in my next video.